speaker is Professor Lin-Hai HAN. He's a well-known figure in the engineering community. Professor Han is the Vice Dean of the School of Civil Engineering from Tsinghua University and a former head of department. He was appointed as a professor of the Chuan-Yang Scholar Program of the Ministry of Education in China since 2014. Everybody knows that Professor Han is a guru in concrete field tubular columns, and they have contributed significantly to the state-of-the-art of composite structures. I think he also had experience in many high-rise buildings in China. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Han to deliver the keynote.
Thank you very much, Richard, for the very kind introduction. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor here to have this opportunity to introduce some of the work that we have done at Tsinghua University in terms of the concrete field stainless steel tubes. And first, let me take this opportunity to thank Professor XU and the organizer for the very kind arrangement to make this presentation possible. And actually, this paper was included in the proceedings of this symposium. So what I would like to talk today, including some introduction for the background, and some work on the behavior and the design calculations of CFST structures. And before the conclusion, I would like to introduce some of the current research work that we have done at Tsinghua University. And in the mainland China, for the design of high-rise building, for instance, for the column, normally we have options: reinforced concrete, steel reinforced concrete. Actually, it's the reinforced concrete section to put I section inside the concrete to strengthen this column behavior, and the steel structures and the concrete field steel tubes. The steel tube here is carbon steel tube, which this table does give a very general comparison of the column behavior, column performance. For instance, section size, seismic behavior, because in the mainland China, about 80 cities, main cities, under the headers of seismic, and also fire systems, construction ability, anti-corrosion, and long-term behavior. So the long-term behavior here actually is the effects of concrete, shrinkage, and creep. So for CFST, you can see the comprehensive behavior is good. So this concrete field steel tube, typical column sections, circular, square, rectangular, and different shapes. So the effects of 1 + 1 greater than 2 actually is the interaction between the two materials during the loading process. Actually, in the mainland China, we have also general sections. For instance, double skin steel tube, this inner steel tube, outer steel tube, centimeter concrete, different combinations. And also, CFST connect with hollow steel tubes to form sections that's like that. And also reinforced and or stiffened CFST to put I section or another or reinforced bar inside the concrete to strengthen the structure behavior. And in the mainland China, for the CFST development can be generally divided in 3 steps. The first stage is before 1980s, and this stage steel tube is a normal strength. For instance, 235 megapascal strength. The fabrication of the steel tube is hot rolling, seamless, just like that. Concrete is normal strength. The cubic strength less than 50 megapascal, for instance. So the application is subway stations and industry works, and also the pillar of the electricity transmitting towards. The second stage is around 1990 to the beginning of the new century. At this stage, the fabrication of steel tube is valued or code form. And the strength of the concrete increase at this stage is around 50 to 70 megapascal. And this type of structure used in bridges, high-rise buildings, and also dwelling halls. And from the beginning of the new century, the high-performance was used. For steel, it's high-strength steel, more than building strength higher than 350 megapascal, and for concrete strength higher than 60 megapascal. Also industrialization. In addition to larger structures, super high-rise buildings. For instance, these buildings in Beijing is 528 meters, which is the tallest building in Beijing now. Actually, for the Hong Kong Zhuhai Mega Bridge, which is a new bridge, very long bridge as well. You can see the pillar here. Actually, the foundation actually is concrete fill steel tubes. Chaos means to form a strong foundation to support the pillar here. And in the mainland China, we have designing codes for CFST structures, national, industrial, and local codes. In these regulations, we have design methods for members subject to different loading conditions, of fire performance and residual strength after fire, effects of crushing, and also connections of CFST column to RC of steel beam sections. And if we put concrete inside stainless steel tube, perform we call as concrete fill stainless steel tube. I will introduce a little more later. Actually, the advantage of this type of structures is economical use. It's concrete fill inside, so we can use very similar stainless steel. This can reduce the amount of use of stainless steel. Thus can reduce the cost. Can achieve some benefits, high stability, fire resistance, and also aesthetic appealing. If we will put CFSST as a new member, again, we can vary column performance. You can see the comprehensive performance of CFSST here. And actually, currently in the world, we have some applications of CFSST. For instance, cars store in New York City, you can see concrete fill stainless steel tube columns. Also, a bridge is a greenboard bridge in Iceland. You can see the pillar is concrete fill steel tubes with stainless steel tubes. Actually, in Hong Kong, we have a bridge is called as a stone cutter bridge. In Chinese, it's Chuan-Yang bridge. You can see the bridge is the tower is 294 meters in height. So the third part is 100 meters. This part actually is concrete fill stainless steel tubes. This photo was taken 2 days ago, and by Dr. Fa Chen from Tsinghua University when we came from the airport to this hotel. And in China, we didn't have the design code for concrete fill stainless steel tubes, but we do have design codes for stainless steel structures. We also have just published new codes for actually it's an industry code for the fabrication of stainless steel tubes. This is published by Chinese government. So if we would like to develop to draft the design codes for concrete for stainless steel tube, we need to understand the basic behavior of static performance, dynamic, fire performance, construction issues. Construction issue actually is quite similar to the issues for normal concrete fill steel tubes. Normally, hollow steel tube fabricated first, then the hollow steel tube will enter construction load, and also polyethylene tube for the welding of stainless steel tube and the concrete compaction, durability design. All this actually is theoretical research. The purpose of the research is for the design codes regulations and also for engineer practice. So under this chart, and Tsinghua University, we are doing some research work. For instance, some basic work, experimental studies to check the boundary behavior between the stainless steel and concrete, and also members under different loading conditions, and the cyclic loading, performance, impact, and fire resistance, and post-fire behavior, and also composite joints. So this is a summary of the external work, the bond behavior, the members. So something interesting, or maybe interesting to you, have a brief introduction. Because the bond between the co-concrete and the outer steel tube is critically designed for this type of composite structures to ensure that the co-concrete and the outer steel tube can work together during hollow loading process. So the bond behavior is crucially important. So our first step is to check the bond strength between the stainless tube and the co-concrete. Actually, one of the most significant difference between the carbon steel and the stainless steel is the roughness of the steel surface. So we measure the surface very carefully to compare what the differences between the two types of tubes. So you can see some interesting measurement results. For carbon steel tube, you can see the roughness is about 8 micrometers. For circular, it's called square for non-spicer. For circular stainless steel tube, however, it's less than 1 micrometers. So this means it's an expected stainless steel tube surface is very smoother than that of the corresponding of the carbon steel tubes. So this is maybe not good for the bond strength. So we have there a type of push-over test. That's like you can see spacing here. Here's a gap. That's the apply load exactly on the co-concrete only to push the co-concrete to check the slip of the boundaries boundary of the steel tube and the co-concrete. Actually, before the test, we can observe there do have some separation change because of the shrinkage of the concrete. So it's a changeable separation. So some of the test results, you can see the full response of the bond strength and the slippage curves. Again, for carbon steel tube, we'll go like this. For stainless steel tube, we'll go this way. This is for circular section. For the diameter is 120 millimeters. For the larger section, you can see the lower bond strength. The larger the section, cross section, the lower the bond strength. You can see carbon steel goes like this way, but for stainless steel it goes like this. Different characteristics. So, but the bond strength with the loading process goes. Actually, this is because of the microstructures of the concrete and the outer steel tube is changed a lot during the loading process compared with the two types of steel tubes. And we also have checked the bond behavior and the elevated temperature. That's the type of test like that. You can see for stainless steel tube, the bond strength reduced significantly. But for this is for the carbon steel tube. We'll go like this, different measurement. But after fire exposure, you can see the bond strength increase again. This is again due to the microstructure of the intersurface. So for the members under different loading conditions, you can see the smaller one, bigger one to check the size effect. The very beautiful look flattening mode, the longer column. And we have some comparisons of the comprehensive behavior of concrete filled stainless steel tube with the corresponding carbon steel tube filled with concrete. You can see the full response of the loading and the axial strain. You can see this actually is a carbon steel tube filled with concrete. This is stainless steel tube. So if we put the numerator as the maximum strength of the curve, you can see for the stainless steel tube, the curve just like that, to a point declining and then increasing because of hardening of the steel. But for carbon steel tube, to the peak and then to decline. This is because of because of the different material properties, actually austenitic steel, stainless steel tube was used for these specimen comparisons. So this means for concrete fill, stainless steel tube, they have at the later stage, the steel tube can provide a better confinement compared with the carbon steel tube. And this is a very important factor. So that's it's a confinement factor actually for concrete steel tube. This is the only equation in this presentation. You can see this ratio actually can reflect the effects of the co-concrete and also the outer steel tube. The denominator is the concrete area and the concrete compressive strength, and the numerator is the area of outer steel tube and the yielding strength. So the higher this ratio means the higher confinement that the steel tube can provide to it is co-concrete. You can see for concrete and stainless steel tube, the curve goes like this way. For carbon steel tube, it goes like this way. So the ultimate state is different. So however, we still haven't used the hardening effects of the stainless steel tube. So this things need to have to check very carefully in our future research. You can see the stainless steel tube, the strength-strain relations, carbon steel. This austenitic steel properties. For the confined concrete, under different confinement factors, you can see concrete curves, but goes like that. So this numerically analysis to check the contribution of the outer steel tube and the inside concrete. You can see the contributions of the stainless steel tube, the hardening effects. This is for long column. The long column is an overlapping wall. It's quite similar to that of the corresponding concrete fill carbon steel tube, cylinder column. And cyclic performance, quite similar. You can see again, you can see CFST is that line, solid is CFSST, quite similar. So quite a similar response, though the bond strength between the steel tube and the co-concrete is different. We check the concrete surface. You can see the concrete and the steel tube can work very well. So the concrete can keep it integrated during the loading process, even after filling. Whenever under lateral impact, you can see again, we remove the outer side stainless steel tube. You can see the co-concrete still keep well, though have a very large deformation of the specimen. Under fire, we have done some tests from 300 meters to 600 millimeters. So actually it's a very large, it's full scale tests. You can see after test, you can see very beautiful failure mode. It's an outward failure of the outer stainless steel tube. You can see the concrete keep well even after failure of structures. We have developed a model to predict the structure behavior as well. Actually, for the concrete fill stainless steel tube have very desirable fire resistance. For instance, the cylinder ratio is if it's 20, if the section dimension of circular section is 900 meters, without any additional fire protection, the fire resistance could be 230 meters. So this means that for concrete filled stainless steel tube, tubular columns, we can achieve 3 Mars fire resistance without any additional fire protection and even very high loading ratio during the fire. So we also have done some tests of composite joints. So it's a stainless steel tube filled concrete, use a kind of guide bolts with a steel beam. You can see the moment and the joint rotation curves shows a very correct manner of the mobility of the structure. We also check the composite joints and fire, and also loading. This furnace to actually load on the columns and the two segments of the beam. Then fire to the failure. Again, we have achieved the column failure mode and beam failure mode. For the beam following failure mode is the buckling of the flange, and for the column failure mode, you can see again the overall local buckling. Actually, this failure mode due to the combinations of the fire and the loading effects. We have a written model to predict the behavior. And a very quick is for the design calculations. Actually, the details of the information are included in proceeding papers. We compare the three codes from Europe, America, and China. And actually, this code is specially drafted for normal carbon steel tube filled with concrete. And in this code, we have limitations for the design of the concrete filled steel tubular structures. Our purpose for the comparison is just to check if to calibrate the validity of these design codes for concrete filled stainless steel. So we have some comparisons. You can see the mean value and also the standard deviation. Actually, generally, the regulation, the increasing of the design of concrete carbon steel tubular columns, which give a lower prediction for concrete filled stainless steel tube. But for some cases, particularly for the very small specimen size conditions, the test results give unconservative comparisons. So we still check this size effects currently very carefully in our research group. For the beam, again, for cylinder column, again, you can give concentrated predictions. You see the standard deviation as well. This for beam, you can see the very conservative predictions. It's for beam columns. You can see the curve. This curve is for circular Europe code. This Chinese code. This Chinese code, Europe code. You can see its measure points very concentrated. So just before my conclusion, give a very brief introduction for our research group currently. Then actually we are trying to do a type of work is life cycle based. So the life cycle based starting for concrete filled stainless steel tube structures can be summarized as 3 points. The first is the performance of the structure members and their different loading, particularly extreme loading during the full range life cycle. For instance, burst with fire, impact, and sometimes their combination effects. And also the performance of the members during full life cycle is a construction process. For instance, the effects of fabrication of steel tubes, ratio strength, for instance, and possibly initial infection of the concrete, and also long-term effects is shrinkage and creep of concrete. And finally, we would like to develop a design principle and methodology for the design of this type of structures. And currently, we are doing some tests, just like that, long-term tests, to apply load on the specimen to age, just like this one. This is a foreign load stream age test. This loading, this age, this deformation of the curve. So we measure the long-term behavior. To apply the load to design load, to keep the load at constant to measure the shrinkage and creep. And to age and then apply the load to failure structures. So this is very simple, but can generally reflect on working conditions for the concrete filled stainless steel tube and their service load and long-term load. And we also have done some work on different combinations sections. For instance, the outside is the stainless steel tube, the inside is the carbon steel tube, center region is concrete. My colleague at Tsinghua introduced some also this work yesterday on his presentations. And we also try to do work is concrete filled by metallic tubes. So the outside, the surface is stainless steel, and the inside carbon steel tube, and then filled with concrete. So we have some initial research outcome published on similar structures last year. and conclusions. So it can be observed that the bond strength between the stainless steel tube is lower than normal carbon steel tube and concrete. So this is the issue. So we have to face this issue and to give a safe design bond strength. So for larger specimen, for instance, sections, we will need additional sharing studs, for instance. So this will give some proofs. Actually, for stainless steel tube can provide better confinement, particularly at the later stage because of hardening of the materials. And the CFST column have higher energy dissipation and also higher energy absorption ability under cyclic loading and impact loading. And the fire resistance of the CFST is much higher than that of the corresponding carbon steel tube filled with concrete. So in most of the cases in practice, without any additional fire protection, the concrete filled stainless steel tubular column can achieve more than 3 Nor's fire resistance. This is good news actually for this type of structures. So designing guide and codes need to be development and for the research step by step. So we are trying to do some work on this step as well. So thank you very much. Thanks.